just beyond the next planet, just beyond the next star.
Been a hell of a run. I never thought it would come to an end.
Our brig is bigger than this.
A lot of things change in 200 years.
Here's to the next generation.
All right. Hello, YouTubers. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Sloppy Modeler. And we have finished up the Piranha and published that preview or review and finale. And now it is time to move on to the next project. And I'm excited to preview the color. Is that right there? The color blue. And you might be asking yourself, well, what are we going to do with that? Well, there's a lot of blue in the next kit that we're going to do. And as a matter of fact, we're going to do 2 pieces of blue in the next kit. So I can move that to the side and present that, which is the Enterprise NX-01, the 1/1000 scale, the snap together kit from Polar Lights. It's a snap tight kit, and this has the NX-01 as a kit, or you can do the NX-01, NX-01 Refit, the Columbia NX-02, the II Captain, the ISS Enterprise NX-01, or the ISS Avenger NX-09. This particular kit I'm going to do as the NX-01, and I am going to, as I started out, I am going to attempt to light this with a bit of sophistication, hopefully. We'll see how it all comes together as it works, as we work out the challenges of lighting this particular kit. I've already taken the liberty of opening it up, and it was slimy from all the mold release on it, so I spent a day soaking it and washing it, and now it's ready to start its prep. Some of the lights that you're going to see on this kit, hopefully, is the light for the Bussard collectors in red, the interior and exterior of the nacelles in blue, and that's hence the blue light there. And then, moving forward on this, I think that I can light all of these windows up. Okay, the bridge is like a titanium gold, so that doesn't light up, but there are lights around it that they haven't lit. And then there's some lights here, looks like almost skylights right there, and there, and across the other spots. Then you've got the behind the deflector dish is this light blue here. And I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with these, but I think what I'm going to do is paint them. I'll paint them blue and try to get lights in there somehow. That's going to be, these nacelles are really tiny. And the same thing here, I'm going to paint the back of that blue, and hopefully I won't even need a blue light, but I might. A couple other lights that are predominant on here are the red and green nav lights, and those are on the top and the bottom of the saucer. You also have a light in the crystal, and I think it's the impulse crystal clear in the back in this portion here, and we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But that's going to be one that's going to be really tough. These here are literally little mushroom implant pegs that go down into there, and I think if I've got light here, that'll transmit up through that, and I don't have to add lighting to that. So let me go ahead and open this up and start to show you. There are numerous, show you the kit. There are numerous open boxings on this, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. You've got that. The dome is already set, ready to go. And I guess I got this in reverse order, so let me just pull these out and go from there. Nice decals are included. And we'll start here with the bottom and the top of the actual saucer. Now on this saucer, when you're going to put it together, there are actually pieces that fit in here. Same thing with the big 350 version, they just kind of downscaled this. And they're a pain in the neck to seal up from lighting, so that is going to be a big challenge from light leaks coming through where those seam up. Maybe the 1000 is better for that, but that's one of the initial challenges. And then the same thing here. There's a plastic insert for this, and then the deflector dish goes on in front of that. Now there's not a ton of room. If you look at the width there, or the height, there is some, and there'll be more. So you've got about 1.5 inches or so of room in there, which is more than enough lighting. I think I can put lighting in single bulb versions of LED strip tape in there, and that is going to be a huge amount of lighting, and it's going to light that deflector dish, and it's going to be a little bit easier to light block when we go to do those pieces there. Now that's going to be a real trick to figure out how to do that. These two pieces, which are this is the bottom of the hull, and you've got a plastic insert that fits in here and in here, and I'm not sure why it's double like that, but it is, and that's kind of a pain in the neck. All right, but we'll get through that. Same thing on the top. Here's where I mentioned you've got some inserts that go in, but you've got all of these windows around here and around here that I want to drill. A couple windows there and there. A few tiny windows here, here, and here. One on each side of that will actually look pretty good lit up. And then here are those windows I talked about. I'm not sure if you can see them, but they're right there, there, and here. And they kind of look like skylights inside of that. The rest of this is going to be interesting to do as well. So let's talk about the big challenges on this particular kit. As I mentioned, here are the nacelles, and there's not a lot of room to lay in, like say maybe lay in LED strip tape. There just isn't enough room, so I'm going to have to do that with LEDs and figure out if I can just project enough light. Maybe one from the back pointing forward, and then a red one pointing forward, or maybe a red one pointing forward, blue pointing each direction, and be done with it. I'm not even going to attempt to lay in a flasher in the back. I refuse. So we won't have navigation lights clear on the back of the nacelles on these little 1000 kits, but that is what a nacelle looks like, and it is pretty tiny. So we've got 2 of those to assemble and to put together. Here is the secondary hull, but the only piece that we're really worried about here is this one here. This part number 42, which is again the back of the impulse engine crystal will go right there, and we'll talk about that. We'll come to that in a minute. And then this is for the refit version. Now I have a second kit coming in. I'm going to do the refit, but this is the traditional NX-01 lit, and I'll do the refit at a different time, so at least I'll have some spare parts when I screw that up and cause some grief. So as I was mentioning, here is those sidewalls, and so there's 4 lights there, 1, 2, 3 lights there in that sidewall that I'll have to drill out, and it's really challenging because you can see that part is essentially flat. So I'm not sure if I can drill in that way, drill at an angle that way, or drill straight back. So that's going to be kind of a learning opportunity there to do that. So that is the side panels, and again they're kind of here's some additional side panels that go all the way around that kit. Here is the big unknown known unknowns, as Rumsfeld would say. So I have to figure out how to get that part 42 this part 42 fits over that part right there. Fine, no problem. But I want to get a light in there underneath that crystal. And to do that, we are left with, and this is the first one I'm going to take off the sprue here. Those gates are really kind of ugly. So this fits into the side of the back of the hull. And something like this is how that fits in. Okay, there's that one, and that side there, maybe. See, I've already got some fitment issues. There we go. Maybe. There we go. Come on now. Still not there. See? That's my first challenge. One side fits in nice, and the other side puts in a boatload of stress to it as a snap to get together. So I'll have to make sure I box that. So, if that part sits on top of there, you don't have any room, hardly at all, to put a positive and negative lead out to that piece. And I want to, because I think that's going to really tie in that part of the kit. So, and this is the bottom. The top simply sandwiches down on top of it. It actually sandwiches in like that. So you have to be careful there when you sandwich it in like this, that you don't come out just the sides. Come on, fingers. Let's say you put that in like that. Now you want to make sure that you're not bringing my wires out to there. And it looks like the best thing to do would maybe bring one magnet wire in from each side, a negative in from one and a positive in from the other. Just looking at that might be one way to do that. There's room right there, you can see. If I have that glued up, there would be room to drill through. I think with a pin vise, drill through that hole, a hole right through, right into this section here, and those are my leads, and figure that out. So that is the big unknown at the moment, if I can accomplish that. The rest of this lighting is going to be not easy to do, but at least it's not going to be super complicated. One on-off switch. I'm lighting everything up at the same time. I'm not getting fancy with this, including the navs. I'm not even going to do blinking navigation lights. I'm just simply going to do navigation lights that go in this. So that is the hull. That is the fending piece right there that's going to cause me a bunch of grief. Let me just show you one of the challenges of lighting up the nacelles with a single light. If you try to run that with a single light somewhere in there, it fades so terribly. Pointing it at it, it also fades. Of course, it'll be a little closer to something like this. It also fades. But I think what I can do, and I'll have to look, if that's painted blue, I can put one at the front and one at the back of these SMDs like that, and that should light that up. The other option, I'll go back to the nacelle, because there's going to be one of these clear pieces on each side. The other option is to put maybe two of these, like right in the middle at the bottom, like right there, and let that shine out to both sides. I don't know how I'll diffuse that. Maybe paint will diffuse that enough, and maybe I'm not really worried about diffusing that with how tiny these nacelles are, and then of course running them into that. Now the nice thing is that when the nacelles go together, they clip into the pylons. Okay, great, fantastic. So the pylons, though, are two pieces, which means since they're two pieces and they fit together something like that, that I can run wire up through each pylon into the nacelle and have light power availability with a single lead that comes through there. And then the final piece, the final pieces, that this is the back of this, and I believe this is where the drive engines are. That has a clear glass piece and clear glass piece, both of those right there. And I'm going to try to light those up with blue LEDs pushing out that way, and you know, figure out how to set those in so that we can do that. And I might have to clear out some of this stuff and just carefully set that canopy glue in that single piece, which I think looks like this right here. It's a double piece, so that will actually fit in there, and I think I can do that with enough diffusion back there and shoot a single source LED through both of those. And then finally, there are two tiny little pieces which are here and here, and I guess technically those might be the impulse engines, and I'll have to review the footage. They fit like right there, and they are super small. They'll fit right there and there, sandwiched in between those two, and that should be a red light, I believe. I'll have to check the footage to see what color that light is, but with a red light and a green light, I think that'll look pretty cool. And then this has got quite a bit of little detail painting, so like painting this piece here is done in a titanium gold for the bridge. It's not clear. And then I'm not going to Aztec this. I think that's too much to do with the lighting, but I will try to get it lit, and then a nice silver, and then the decals are pretty decent. I don't have those open. I'm not going to open them, but so that is what is on deck for the sloppy modeler. It's the NX-01, the Archer, Captain Archer. And I did watch this series about 3 years ago, and I really thought that it would have it was reaching its stride in about season 3.5 into 4, and then they canceled it. And it would have been nice to see it go longer, because I think it was starting to reach its stride. I know it was an expensive show to produce, but and I'm not sure if I liked the way that it ended with the death of one of the crew members there, one of my favorites. But, so, stick with me. This has been the introduction to the Star Trek Enterprise NX-01, the 1/1000 scale kit from Polar Lights. And we're excited about endeavoring on the next little Star Trek kit here. I thank you so much for your viewership and your patronage. I appreciate if you like what you see, hit that like button, and share the video with your friends if you'd like. Thanks for your subscriptions as they continue to come in, as we grow the channel little by little and try to make a contribution to the modeling community. Until then, this is the Sloppy Modeler saying thank you very much. Go enjoy building a model, folks, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.